Yes.
Come in. Hi, Mr. McNulty. Yeah. Translate, Mr. Gardner. Hey, Brock, call me Gary. You mind if I take a seat?
Come on in.
All right, is the 20 minutes that Shannon set up still okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome. Good. And here's my business card. Do you happen to have one for me as well?
I do, yeah.
I appreciate it. And I just have one question. Do you have an Alexa by chance?
Do I have an Alexa?
Yes.
I do.
So you've heard of one and everything, and you know how awesome they are.
Yeah, I play 20 questions with her constantly. It's great.
I have so many games and answer so many questions. Don't tell my girlfriend, but it's my second half. She wouldn't let me take it on this trip, so I brought a picture of it because I can't leave home without it.
All right.
You get me? And you know how it just answers so many questions so you don't go out in the cold. You can put on a jacket and ask her what the weather is.
Right.
And that's why I'm here. I'm here to be that one-stop shop for you. Answer any questions that you might have about Gardner, and we can go from there.
Okay.
And I'm sure you're a very organized man. I try to be as well. So I kind of organized a plan for this meeting.
Okay.
In which, I kind of want to talk about your transition. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Switching from cellular tissue to Arcland. And then just learn a little bit more about Arcland, tell you and discuss a little bit more about Gardner and see if there is appropriate decisions that can be made from this meeting. Does that sound good?
Yeah, it sounds
good. You want to add or change anything to that?
No.
Okay. So through that transition, have you been fairly autonomous with decisions, or?
Yeah, I have absolute autonomy.
Okay. So no one else helps you make decisions, or you don't have to pass through anybody?
Not in this regard.
Okay.
So.
Gotcha. And whenever you're looking at partners in the past, I'm sure you've implemented new technologies and implemented different and various things throughout your time at other companies. What is that decision criteria for you? What do you really look for in a partner?
As far as the company's concerned, trust is a big thing for me.
Okay.
A company that aligns with our values, with our mission.
Yeah.
That understands that. I think it's pretty important. And then as far as the product's concerned, if it addresses all of our needs, then the decision's kind of made for you, right?
Yeah. And you talked about needs. Through this transition, do you have any current tasks that you've been tasked with from the CEO or CFO?
Yeah. So part of the reason I was brought on, my predecessor, loved the man to death.
Yeah.
He put our current system in place about 15 or 20 years ago, maybe closer to 20, and kind of just said, all right, this is what we're going with. And
okay.
Didn't really make any adjustments over the last 15 years, and the program itself, kind of hard to call it a program, really more of a system of programs.
Okay.
Has become very cumbersome, outdated, and very inefficient.
Okay. And could you elaborate a little bit more on that system of programs? So what do you really want it to do? What are you looking for it to accomplish?
So it's what we call our MRP system, but it's not really. So we're hoping for a system that is kind of all-encompassing, so it covers order entry, purchasing, AR, AP, the whole gamut. So
I got you.
Maybe even CRM. So
okay.
Yeah, right now we're running AS400 and then some patches into a couple other programs that do our accounting and do our purchase order entry. So.
Gotcha. And you spoke a little bit about accounting. Given that you just transitioned to a new company, what does that budget look like?
For this program, they've allotted me $700,000 to try and get this job done.
Okay. And is that similar to what you used to have at Cellular Tissue and Ed's Foods, or is that?
Sizes are a little bit different. Cellular Tissue is a little bit smaller company.
Okay.
But I've worked for larger companies, so budgets depending on the project were higher or lower. But I think it's probably about in line with the scope of the project. So,
yeah. And how have you gone about allocating that $700,000? Are you having any troubles with that, or?
It's been a process for sure. So we're recording a few different software companies. The majority of that cost is going to go into really just implementing the software itself. So, we're looking at a few different companies, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
Oracle, we're looking at NES, we're looking at NetSuite, just to name a few.
Yeah.
So.
And so you talked about how they're kind of approaching you, right? Or are you looking into them?
I searched out a few of them.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard for a company to know that somebody's looking to go through this unless they're just really on it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, mainly me researching them.
Okay, and how have you gone about that?
Good old fashioned Google.
Google, yeah. Or Bing or what have you. I mean, there's so many platforms nowadays. Don't say Bing. And just one last thing, what does your team structure look like? Is it kind of like in the past where you've had a couple managers, or what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, hard to judge against the past because different scenarios.
Yeah.
But I've got myself, and I have 3 direct reports for
Okay.
me, and then they have 12 between the 3 of them. They have 12, and it's not necessarily evenly split.
Okay. So just roughly 12. And have they been fairly aiding to your transition? Have they helped you along the way?
Yeah, I just think they're kind of eager to see where I go with this. So.
Okay, awesome. Aren't we all eager to see where life goes?
Yes, yes.
So we talked a little bit just about how you've gone about researching the different things like Google. You've gone about trying to implement that new software, CRM, what have you, the MRP, if you would. We talked a little bit about that $700,000 budget, how you're going about allocating that, how you're researching the different companies like Oracle, NetSuite, and things like that. And then we've talked about your team and how it's structured. And I know it's different industries.
Yep.
So would you be interested in seeing if Gartner could be that right fit and we could see appropriate next steps?
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what you guys have.
Okay, so I'd like to sum up Gartner in one sentence, and that's technology-related insights for your critical business decisions. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say that an MRP system, entire company-wide software, is pretty critical, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with something that's 15 to 20 years old, pretty outdated. That's pretty critical to get that system up and running, get that efficiency going.
Yeah, of course.
And obviously, it's a business decision. And so what I like to kind of describe Gartner as well is that concrete overlay that you provide through your green construction, and you can build that building as high as you want based on that foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And simplify that ever so complicated role as the VP of Technology and Information or CIO, what have you.
Speaking of complications,
yes, sir.
It's something that's kind of thrown a wrench into the mix for me. The CIO world is a little bit, it's a tight-knit crew.
Yeah.
It can be a bit of an echo chamber, but also a rumor mill. And I heard a rumor that I'm having a hard time getting past. It's complicated, as far as this decision is concerned. I would definitely want it addressed is that you guys recently sued for making fraudulent claims.
Okay. Could you explain a little bit more about what you heard, with specific details?
Yeah, so, and again, it's not anything that I saw on the news, but that doesn't necessarily mean it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of suits that happen that get settled, that don't go to court, that don't get blown up in the public. So, was just that you guys were making claims of services that that you couldn't actually do.
Okay.
So, overpromising, underperforming, but in a contractual level.
I understand your concern. And for me, I provide you with all the facts that I know to be true.
Okay.
And we have various testimonial letters. Like I can show you right here. We have Dow in your chemical industry.
Mm-hmm.
They like to vouch for Gartner, and they use Gartner as well. And then Florida State University, one of the most prestigious universities in the world, I would say.
I would say.
And they really vouch for what Gartner does. They prove the methods that we teach, and they prove the methods that we provide, the services, and really go that extra mile to assure that we continue to be the world's leading IT research and analyst position company. Does that make a little bit more sense? Does that alleviate your concern about that rumor?
I mean, are you being sued?
We are not currently being sued.
Okay. Did you get sued?
Not to my knowledge. That could be over my head. I'm just a salesperson, and I know these facts to be true due to the fact that I work with customers on a day-to-day basis. So if that alleviates your concern, we can still move on.
It does. No, I like that. It does make me feel better. I just wanted you to either say yes or no. So.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
And so, would you say the research on the MRP system is your biggest concern, or that budget?
The research on the MRP system for sure is very important.
And so we'll start with that, and then we'll kind of tie it up with the contracts.
Okay.
And not contracts, but the budget.
Okay.
And so what we like to provide is research through many different venues, 135,000 different documents, and over 1375 topics.
Okay.
So if you would, I actually have the Gartner website up right now, and you gotta love Wi-Fi, right? Oh. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
All right. So we have a search bar. This is something that you can find on the regular interface, the Gartner. And if you would type in MRP for me.
Did you get it?
I think so. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And you get one result from October 2017. That's the usual thing that you can find through Google. That's the free research you can find really anywhere.
Okay.
Now, if we click on premium research, this is the stuff that you pay for. This is really what you get out of Gartner. You get 508 results for an MRP instead of just one.
Okay.
And you get stuff from October 2017, November 2017. So a lot more recent stuff than 15, 20 years ago. And stuff that you can implement automatically. So through our base of 1,300 analysts, they'll help you narrow down that decision. You've kind of narrowed it down in NetSuite and Oracle, but through different things like the Magic Quadrant, one of the other services that we provide, we help you narrow it down to maybe that bullish company that will really improve efficiency, but will be a little bit more costly, or there we go. The challengers, the leaders, the niche players, and visionaries. So maybe those precautionary, risk-adverse companies that will cost a little bit less but won't improve that efficiency. Will help you find the best fit for you.
Okay.
Does that sound like something that you'd be interested in?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, and then we'll go into the cost, because I know that these contracts can get really, really costly. What were you looking to spend on that new MRP system?
Well, like I said, our budget is $700,000.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is there a certain cost that, I mean, your budget is $700,000 for the MRP system alone, or in general?
Just overall.
Okay.
But what we're finding is that a lot of the cost contracts that are coming in, some of the ones that we've researched at least, are kind of coming in around the 800,000 range.
Okay.
So what I thought was a very padded budget is turned out to be quite tight. So yeah.
Well, we'll see if we can help alleviate that concern. And is that something that you want to find a little bit more cost savings in Gartner, or where are you kind of coming from there?
And as far as the contracts are concerned, I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
And fine-toothing these things and understanding, how to negotiate them, that's not my forte.
Yeah. I get that.
So that's a pretty big concern for me is making sure that that we're not walking into a trap. We're getting the best deal.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot of contract negotiation history.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And nor do I. I can tell you that right now.
Okay.
That I'm just a pretty face that the company sends out, and I have the whole row of analysts behind me that will do all that for you. Actually, we have a contract review service that will help find you not problems or flaws, but cost savings in those contracts. So this $800,000 contract that you might find, we like to pride ourselves in finding 15 to 20% on those contracts. Okay. So if we could, we'll go very conservative. Say we couldn't find that 15 to 20%, but we could find 10%. Mm-hmm. 10% of 800,000 is 80,000, right?
Right.
Might not be a lawyer, but you're good at math. And so if you could save $80,000 off of this one contract, is that something that you would be interested in?
Yeah, to say that I wouldn't be interested in saving $80,000 would be, not true.
I completely understand. And not only that, but you said that you were trying to figure out different ways to allocate that budget. And one thing that I really like is the IT budget tool. Not only the contract review service could save you money, but you could also see, let's say you're in plastics manufacturing, resin material manufacturing. So this would be you. This would be Arcland Industries, and then we'll say your biggest competitor, Dow, would be right here. And so you could see kind of what they're spending per employee based on that new CRM system. So let's say you implemented Insightly, for example. I'm not paid to pitch that at all, but you'd pay $6,400 per employee for Insightly.
Okay.
Now the industry average would be looking at $6,820. So you could actually bump that budget up a little bit, spend a little bit more on that CRM based on the industry average. And then you can even go one step further and kind of go to different companies, see what they're spending all down the line, IT capital, IT operational.
Okay.
Is that something that you'd be interested in as well?
Simplifies it for sure.
Okay, so Gartner does come with a cost for all this fun stuff, and it would be $50,000.
How long does it take you to learn all of that?
I mean, so I've been in the company for 3 years.
Okay.
Are you kind of concerned about the fact that, or could you elaborate your concern?
Yeah, it just seems like a lot.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot to learn.
It is a lot. And so we go through a 6-month training process, very rigorous. We do so much training per day, trying to learn the ins and outs, every part of the company, and really go from there.
So is it going to take me 6 months to learn?
No.
I don't know that I have 6 months.
And I understand that. What's your timeline looking like?
You know, if we find the right solution today. So,
okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm not going to jump into something and then have a 6-month learning curve.
No, I completely understand. And so right here, this is another service that we provide. Besides your 1 and 2 priorities, we also provide an executive partner. And I know you have so much research through your 4 different other jobs and CIO roles. And this person is honestly like your Alexa. For me, bounce ideas off of, I don't always need Alexa, but she's great to have whenever she's there. You just say, hey, Alexa, she's there. She answers any questions that you have.
Okay.
And so they've been in the role. They've had former CIOs lead the company and had to implement new CRMs. We match you up based on that data. They've worked in green construction, resin material manufacturing before. And honestly,
it's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, switching from Los Angeles, excuse me, from California to Georgia, I lost a big support system.
Really?
So, you know, being that I love to bounce ideas off each other. Once I left California, if you're not living there, you kind of don't exist.
No, I get you.
So, yeah, that's pretty interesting. I've had a need for somebody to bounce ideas off of. So,
yeah, and that's honestly amazing. They're there for you. They're there to make you feel at home, and they'll meet with you yearly and all those bells and whistles. But that comes with the $50,000 that you would pay through everything.
So, my research when I was looking at it was like $50,000 for myself, and I think that included my 3 direct reports. Is that right? My 3 direct employees.
Okay, so the direct is that a concern? It's not in your budget.
I mean, is it more than
that? Yeah, well, we can go into that. So the direct reports, you have 3 direct reports.
Okay.
And those would be $15,000 each.
What?
I understand. So that would be $45,000 added on, just because.
So it's $95,000.
Yes, it's $95,000.
4 of us.
Yes.
Okay.
But if I would, can I put it into perspective really quickly?
Please.
Are you paying $95,000 or are you paying $5,000 for all these great resources?
Explain.
Okay, so you know how we could save you 10%? That's conservative. So we could probably save you up to 100%, or not 100%, $100,000 on this $800,000 contract.
Okay.
Just off of that new implementation of that CRM alone, we could honestly you'd break even, get all these fancy bells and whistles from research, cost optimization to this person to make you feel at home, all in one. So is that something that you would does that make you feel a little bit better about that?
It does, yeah.
And so you'd honestly be making money, if anything.
Okay.
So would you like to move forward with this, the $50,000?
I think it makes sense, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So could we sign something right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, awesome. So I actually have contract right here.
Okay.
And if you would, just sign right here.
Okay.
And I appreciate it so much, Mr. Minolti.
No problem. Yeah, I appreciate you coming in. I'm glad you did.
Yeah, and I
look forward to talking to you a little bit later. I really appreciate it.